Yeah, welcome back to the Firehouse for some more Firehouse reasoning. In the last Firehouse, we was discussing Mr. Liar and Mr. Falsehood and the way they managed to run things as it was throughout the planet. But tonight, I want to have a look at how one could defeat Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar. Because over the centuries, there have been various attempts to dethrone Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar. And these movements have been termed revolutions. So if you read your history in whatever country you'll see that there's been various revolutions, and these revolution was to overthrow Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar in whatever form they exist at the time. But it so happened that after these revolution, it turned out that it was still Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar that was in charge of the situation. So you get to find out that military confrontation will not defeat Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar. Because as a matter of fact, Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar is well equipped where military might and power is concerned. To the extent that I don't think you can at this time rise an army against Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar. They've got it locked down where such things are concerned. You know, no way of defeating Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar by military might. Let's have a drink of water. So, if one cannot defeat falsehood and lying by military means, you know, aggression, what other means can one defeat Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar? Well, the opposite of lying is truthfulness. You know, the opposite of lying and falsehood is like honesty and truthfulness. And that is the only thing that can defeat falsehood, Mr. Liar. If you know what I mean. So it calls for you as human beings to be honest in whatever it is that you are doing. Because that is the only way that you can defeat Mr. Liar and Mr. Falsehood. Honesty and truthfulness is the only way. Now, it's easy to see Mr. Liar and Mr. Falsehood, like I'm saying in this time, because he's high up. So it's easy to spot the falseness of the governments, be they American, European, you know, and their lies. But it is more difficult now amongst yourself, what I would call the normal folks. You know what I mean? Because it don't seem to you that you haven't grasped this yet, that when you are jealous against your neighbor, when you are grudgeful, spiteful, that is a form of what is lying. You know, you are drawing on the energies of lying and Mr. Falsehood. So ain't no way of you defeating Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar when you yourself are partaking of unhealthy behavior. You see what I mean? So this, to defeat falsehood and lies, calls for great honesty within the being, male or female, irrelevant. This is a lesson, you know, like I want to make it clear. I've made it clear all the time where female is concerned. That this lesson, forget about your femininity. You know? And you, man, forget about your maleness. Truth's got nothing to do with your maleness or your femininity. And it is for everyone. You know what I mean? So it is the responsibility of a woman, just as it is for a man, to live morally instead of immorally. You know what morally is, isn't it? And if you are living morally, if a person tries to live morally, then you have to introduce honesty in your life. You couldn't be living morally and then be coming out with falsehood and lies. you know, falsehood and lies are for those who follow the system that you are seeing in front of you now, which is full of falsehood and lies. And anyone, any being, because like I tell you before, forget about your little color, because falsehood and lies got nothing to do with your color, is it? You know? A black man tell lots of falsehood and lies. White man, white woman, black woman, Chinese woman and all them. Japanese, Korean and Indian. I'll tell falsehood. So falsehood and lies hasn't got a particular color. You know what I mean? So anyone can be telling falsehood and lies. And under the same jurisdiction, anyone can be living honestly and truthfully. Because honesty and truthfulness is not the property of any being, is it? It is not, you don't have to go to any particular religious group. Say, you don't have to say that you are a Rasta to know what honesty and truthfulness is there. You know, the mere fact that I am saying that I am a Rasta, you know, which I am, yeah? But it does not mean though that a next being to live honestly and truthfully have to say that they are Rasta. You don't have to. All you have to do is to live honestly and truthfully. Now that might be difficult, but if you want to defeat falsehood and lie, that is what you have to do. You have to do the opposite of falsehood and lie. And the opposite of falsehood and lie is to live honestly. And if you, any human being, because this lesson is for any human being, if you are not striving to live honestly, then you cannot know the truth. Anything you have been told outside of that is falsehood and lies. You know what I mean? Not the real truth. If you strive to live honestly yourself, right? Truth grows in you. You see what I mean? And then you'll be able to speak the truth. The same truth that you grow yourself. Not the one that anyone else tell you. You won't have to go to school to learn how to speak the truth that you are going to learn. Like I never went anywhere to learn to speak the truth that I'm speaking, is it? No, the truth that I learned by living honestly teach me how to speak the truth that I know, if you know what I mean. Well, I don't know what I mean myself either, but that's how it works. You understand that you will develop the ability to speak truthfully when you start to live honestly. But if you are living dishonestly, well, you could never develop the ability to speak truthfully and honestly from the heart, because you are not living the truth. And I keep hearing people saying, well, what is the truth? Because the truth, it is true that I'm sitting here, and it is true that you are watching, and you're living in a house. All that is true. But we are not talking about those kind of truth, are we? We are talking, if you want to know the real truth, then, like I'm telling you, you have to make preparation for the real truth to enter you. Understand what I mean? So, like I've demonstrated before in a simple way, if a glass is dirty and you pour clean water in such a glass, it will turn the water dirty. But if you cleanse the glass and pour the water in, it remain. So that is the reason why then I am not advising you, telling you that you should live morally. Strive to live morally, because when you're doing that, you are cleaning your mind out of dirt, then, negativity, Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Lie. Once you strive to cleanse this out, then the goodness can enter you. What we call the truth. Because the truth is, rather than say the truth is this, that, and that, because it covers too many things. The real truth is the light that is within thyself. And this light will start to enter your mind once you start to move away from negative things, lying and cheating and, sexual weakness and all these kind of things that the mind has led you into, Mr. Liar and his brethren, Mr. Falsehood. And the only way to see through this is to self-discipline. And like I'm saying, it's not as if it's a mysterious thing to you human beings, because everyone knows the truth. The truth is no stranger. Like the truth is a strange thing. It ain't a strange thing. You already know the truth, but you don't apply it. You know what? If a man is listening, because every man has done wrong before. But when you was doing wrong, you was doing wrong. But that's what you was doing at the time then. Or if you're still doing wrong now. You know you're doing wrong, but it pleases you. But what I'm saying is, until you correct this wrong that you know that you are doing, you will remain blind to the higher understanding that is within your own self. You see, because the understanding is within all of us, in it. So if just one man have the understanding, then the rest of us will have to say, well, how did he get the understanding? If you know what I mean. And then if this one man explain to you, well, that's what you do then. Well, you do it and you see if you get the understanding. Because if one man can do it, that means all can do it. And if all is not doing it, then that means the only reason why they are not getting the understanding is because of the way that they are behaving. You see what I mean? But it's not because one man is privy to things that no other man is privy to. You know what I mean? Like there is some kind of private revelation between one man and God. There is no private revelation in this universe between no individual, no private individual. What one man know, every other man can know. And if they don't know it, like I am saying, it is because of the way that they are living, the way that how the mind are focused, what your love is, what your desire, what your wants, your needs, your hope, your ambition is in life. You see what I mean? I think one should carefully check this one that they call desire. What is your desire? Because what you are seeing is depending on your desire. You know? If you desire what Mr. Liar and Mr. Falls would tell you, about the richness and climbing up in society and reaching the heights in this life, then your desires are twisted. And ain't no way now you are going to see the truth in life. Because you've been diverted the wrong way. You see, opposites in life. Are you sure you're on the right side? You know? Are you sure you have checked out the opposite of what you're dealing with and see what the opposite got to offer? If you know what I mean. But most people, like I say, this is what deceives them. They always go like for say stealing and honesty. Instead of don't steal, they'd rather steal. Because if you steal, you get your reward straight away. But not to steal now, you don't see the reward because that is in the invisible. You see what I mean? But because you don't, like I say, you don't believe in what you don't see, as you say. You would rather not Deal with honesty. You want to deal with stealing, which will reward you straight away. Have a drink of water. But only those humans, male or female, when they say humans, who self-discipline will be able to see through Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar. You know what I mean? Because you won't be able to grasp fully that there is a meaning in life. You know what I mean? And that you've been duped here by Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar. So it's essential that you should practice, like I'm telling you, this self-discipline business. You know what I mean? Of applying what you know already. Like I say, because every being, they don't have to tell me this. I know this myself. Every being know what's right. And the reason why I know that every being know this is because the one is in all. And the one is the one who know it all. And there is no being without the one in them. Yeah, they're calling this one conscience. Well, your conscience know what is right. So why don't you listen to your conscience then? If you know what I mean. But no, you refuse. This is the problem of human being, like I'm saying. Imagine, like I am telling you, I'm telling you this for about that's 1,000,000,000% certain, without any doubt, that the one is in you, and the one is the highest intelligence. But you can bet on this now, that the majority of human beings will not listen to themselves, but rather listen to what Mr. Liar and Mr. Falsehood tell them. Mr. Liar tell them that, oh, this man is a great man, and so she's a great man, and yeah, they will listen to that. But the promptings of their own self, they pay no attention to. But that is why you go astray. You see that's why humans go astray, you know. That's why the earth is in the position where you see it. Because you are living on the opposite side. You know, two-dimensional world, positive and negative. You've operated the negative aspect of life. So all of it now end up in this negative aspect. And those who are on the negative side of life cannot see the truth. Because to get on the other side, you have to live opposite to the way that you live in here. If you know what I mean. It's like if you see all the crowd growing in that direction, you've got to go the opposite way to see the truth, because the truth is in the opposite direction to where they are going. You see, honesty is not in that way, it's in the opposite way. So you have to what we call self-discipline. And then self-discipline does simply mean that you no longer will be living like those who are around you who are living, you know. Running into the pub, getting drunk and cheating on your girlfriend or your boyfriend, telling lies just for the sake of a quickie. You know what I mean? Being ruled by your sexual center, you know what I mean? Those things will die away once you start practice self-discipline. You see what I mean? And then eventually you will come to understand what is right and correct without you even knowing how you come to do it. You see what I mean? The truth will just grow in you. This thing is like as someone sent me an email before saying something like, oh there was fishes but I was swimming different from something like that. I don't remember the email. But that is like it is correct in a way, because what we are doing is exploring the mind then. You see what I mean? So we could look at it like, say, just because I am a Piscean, then I am a fish. But I have to use these things. I use everything that I find at my disposal when I'm pursuing the truth. So yes, I am a Piscean, but I just say to myself, yeah, I am a fish. Yeah, but in the ocean you have many fish swimming to different levels of the ocean, if you know what I mean. But I am one of them fish that swim to the depths of the ocean. That means if you come, I am not, because some fish you just put your hooks in on your line and catch them and eat them. I am not one of those fish that can be caught by men. I am one of them rare fish. Just once in a while I come up from the depths, way down in the bottom of the ocean. You understand? That's where you have to penetrate. But, and you don't do these things. It's not as if you're thinking, oh, I'm going to penetrate down to the depths of the ocean. You get there by not doing anything. By doing the simple thing, what I'm telling you. By just being honest to yourself. You know what I mean? Because you don't know how you're going to get to the depths in it. You don't know nothing. You just arrive there. And you arrive there through striving to live honestly. Don't get me wrong, you know, when you're doing this, I say like me then as an example. Many people take my kindness for weakness. If you know what I mean. So they'll take advantage. If I say lend a man a £10, then he's not going to be in a hurry to give it me back, innit? Because he know that I'm not going to smash up his head. So he's not in a hurry. And I'm not in a hurry to smash up his head either. No, if any man hold me, I am never in a hurry to go and smash up a man's head. No, I use more gentler means. I will just remind the man, if I do see him, when I see him, to say, hey, listen, you know, anyone who hold me, you have to pay me, you know, because life is eternal. No, it's irrelevant to me whether you want to reimburse me while we're living or in the next dimension, if you know what I mean. If you want to hold on to what is mine and make it multiply up, go ahead. But I'm not in a hurry to pursue anyone at all for them holding me anything. And I don't feel any vindication towards them or hatred or anything for them. You know what I mean? Because like I say to myself, if a blind man walk into me, I ain't going to feel angry. So I know that people who are doing this, because they're not self-disciplined, you are blind. So they just represent a being that is bumping to you because of the blindness. And sorry, you're not going to get angry. So anybody at all that, and this include male and female, because my experience is that both male and female, where money is concerned, they want to hold on to it. You know, I am never the one to hold on to it anyway. Because I don't love it that much, innit? So if there's any pull, I'll just say, oh, go and take it, man. Fix yourself. See what I mean? Because I am not that, I am pursuing something different. Something more lasting than money. You know what I mean? So I am not going to go out of my way to do anything against my will to acquire money. You know what I mean? Like I say, I'd rather die in poverty than to do such things. When you are living like that, like I'm telling you, there will be no way now that you could actually come to know what truth is. You know? Because I'm telling people of a way how they can come to understand what is right and correct. You know what I mean? If I tell you something, because I know the truth myself, innit? You see, truth is many things, but it is still one thing. If you know what I mean. And this one thing dwell within. And I know this one thing. You know what I mean? Now, you must think that there is some boast. Like I say, every time I make a video, there is no boast in saying that. Because I ain't going to gain anything by telling human being that I know this thing. You see? There's nothing in it. No one's paying me. I've never get rich by saying that. But it is still a fact. And because we're talking about the truth and reasoning about what is true, or what is going to replace this this mess. Say like you're getting rid of the system, regime change across the planet, and a new system is coming in. Well, I'll tell you the system that will replace this system. And that is the system of the one, and this one is dwelling within. Oneness. You know, when you understand oneness, that this is when you self-discipline, you know. Then you there's no way then you will be convinced that, let anyone convince you that you are a white man. Because that is totally ridiculous. White in the, like, we still talk in terms of white man, I understand that, but just we're going to look at it now in the real fire truth now. A spirit is not a body. Don't forget, a spirit is a thing that is colorless. Like the words that come out of my mouth, got no color. Every being that you see is living is what we call a spirit. Now it just so happened that some spirits settle into what man call the white body. And then some in the Chinese or Indian or black body. And now they are convinced now that they are this body. In terms of saying, oh yeah, they've educated each other to be white man and to be black man. But what I'm saying, in real truth, when you self-discipline, you will see that this is falsehood. This is a lie. Nothing don't go like that. See? This is what confuse oneness and bring division, when everything in God's creation is one. See, so the spirit of man is one. It is not this what you've been falsely educated in your school and your college from whatever time about different races of man and this man and that man. That's a lie. Nothing don't go like that. That's a clever lie by Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar to deceive and confuse. So any being, when you come up into high truth, we're dealing with high truths now, you know. I say I'm a bad general, I don't have to bother be quoting your Bible or dealing with high truth. Any being on the planet who is convinced that they are white or black like them there, you are confused. And the reason why you're confused, you need to self-discipline, honestly. Because honesty is what is going to open up the doors of the mind. I hear them talk about these 7 seals. Well, these seals are the seals of the mind. And you ain't going to rise up in the level of your mind until you start to self-discipline. You see what I mean? And rise within the mind. That is the only thing that is going to make the truth. Because the truth is a painful thing, you know. Yeah, it can be nice. I say, there's one thing with the truth, I say. Apart from the man who is speaking it, the other greater one now is the listener. Yeah. The one who is listening. Because some people cannot listen, you understand what I mean? They just want to argue. But the listener is like the observer that remove themselves from the game so that they can observe the whole game. The listener listens patiently to what is being said, so he hear the whole thing. Easy to spot whether the speaker is speaking the truth or not. And in any case, like I'm saying, anyone, if you're not self-disciplined and you're listening to me speaking, then you're not going to be grasping what I'm saying. And if you are not grasping what I'm saying, trust me, it's only one reason. It is because you are living an undisciplined life. I ain't saying you are a murderer, you know, but you might have some little sexual weakness. Who knows? Cheating and like, you know, even in the sexual behavior, right? Once you're doing that, it blinds you. You get punished straight away for wrongdoing in the law. The laws of wrong and right. When you're jealous of that man because he's got that car or that house, that blind your intelligence from developing. You understand? So a lot of people are thinking, oh, they're going to get punished after. You get punished right now while you're living for being ignorant. Because the ignorance life that you are living is the life that's blinding you. so that you cannot see what we call reality, facts, truth. You know what I mean? That's what stops you from understanding clearly. Not because anyone tell you or you need anyone to come back from the dead to show you that there is no death. These things you will see clearly when you live the correct way. Just like if a man, like I say, go training, yeah, and he train. After a while he becomes fit. He knows what fitness is because he's done the work. No different when you live morally and strive to live honestly. These things will grow in you. You will see that you cannot die. You will see clearly that the body is what we call a changing. It's living in time. Anything that lives in time must change. Anything that is subject to change must die. Check your spirit. When you're 19, you feel 19. When you're 30, you still feel like 19. When you're 40, you still feel like 19. Well, I do anyway. When you're 50, you still feel the spirit never changes, never age. Can't age, it's permanent. So death only comes to something that is changing, not to what is permanent, which is the spirit. You know this for certain yourself, so you know you can't die because you are a spirit. So you don't have to wait and wonder and hope and wish and we. No. What you do is live honestly. Strive to live honestly. Honesty is the best of policy. Don't understand these. You don't have to go to Tibet. Wander off down to India. Wander off over to South America, say, looking for Laman and Shaman, and wandering up to Tibet and down into India looking for spiritual man and all over the. You know, all those kind of things, it's not necessary. Because the master is within thyself. The supreme master, you know. Now imagine that. And this is what I know for a, let me say, I won't even bother put a percentage on it, but certain anyway, a lot, that the master is within. And then I see a man say, telling me I'm reading book, him gone down to India searching for the master, searching for some spiritual master. He's cutting through some jungle, going some far away looking for some master him hear about, you know, wandering. And I'm sitting here thinking, that's a lot of work, you know. In the end, they might even get a little in, like, show the way if they find a genuine man. But why go through all that trouble when the master is within you? Anywhere you are, anywhere, you know, the master is there with you, and you running up and down, and it's because you have money. That's If you never, if you never have money, you couldn't be running off down to India and to Tibet and all these places claiming that you're looking for master. You're not looking for master, you're an adventurer or something. Because the master is within thyself. And to access the master is simple. All you have to do is to live honestly and decently, irrespective of what any other being want to do or how they feel or what they say. Even when they tell you that you are a madman, you accept the fact that you are a madman and want to live like a madman. You know, in your endeavor to find out what is right and correct. You have to live like that. If you are not living like that, how could you ever know the truth? You would have to, like I say, like these idiots. I call them idiots, always reading book and quoting what the next man say. I'm going on about your Bible or your Quran or that. But you cannot speak directly the truth from the heart. Word, sound and power, I say. Because, why? Because you have not lived it. I could not speak as passionately about the next man's word as I could about my own. You know, if I was reading the man's word and I said Jesus says, I see some man get excited about what Jesus says, but I couldn't do it. Because I don't, that's my word, I don't know nothing about them. I never saw those seeds. So I couldn't speak. I can only speak passionately and truthfully about the words that I know from my experience of living honestly. Because it was through living honestly, I say, are striving to, irrespective of what any being want to do, I say, could be my mother, like I say, I don't care. No one is going to stop me trying to live honestly, innit? You can't do it, you'd have to kill me. That's the only time I would stop. And even if anyone do anything against me, I'm not going to seek revenge or, as long as they don't box me, that is. And if it's a financial matter, I'll go on with that, man. Do anything or you say anything, I don't care. The only thing I care about is that wherever I live or wherever I go, no matter what color the human, they can't come saying, oh, you say this to my mother, you did this to my daughter, you say this to my dad, or my friend, or you hold them this and you never pay them, and you know, because I don't do those things to human. I don't hold them. If I borrow from them, I pay them back. I don't abuse them in no way, whether they want to be young people or old people. When them say, man, it's just easy, one love, Rastafari, live it continuously all the time. Because I haven't got time to be hating and bothering people. You see what I mean? So from I don't hold no one, that's all I'm bothered about. And I don't interfere with any being. That's all I'm bothered about. Because self-discipline will not make you do this anyway. That's why it's important to be self-disciplined. You understand what I mean? To imply it in your life and live by it. And this is what now is going to grow your intelligence. You see what I mean? Because you're working on something in it. Obviously, the people cannot see the benefit of self-discipline. The benefit of self-discipline is seen by the individual who is performing the self-discipline. If you know what I mean. Because self-discipline kind of manifests its reward in the hidden then. That when it blossom or come to fruition, no one know that one has the benefit of this way of honest living. You know that there is any benefit to it. You know. But there is, because this is what is going to open your eyes and show you the insight, glimpses into the magic and mysteries of the terrible and dreadful one, Rastafari, that dwelleth within. And like I'm always repeating, you don't have to call that one Rastafari. You know what I mean? But the name Rastafari is not an invention anyway. You know what I mean? When it was first, like some man will say, oh, it's that man name. It don't belong to no one. That name coming from the spirit that dwell within. All names does anyway. You see what I mean? It was a man that invented thoughts. You see what I mean? So the name Rastafari was sent out by the spirit itself. It's a coded name, like I tell you before. I'm the one that unravel the code of it. Because it's got 9 letters in it. And I am a 9th grade general. That's why we're reasoning about the one now from the 9th level. Because like I tell you before, when you go to the 9th level, which is the last and highest positive number outside of the one, that is where you're going to encounter the one that is dwelling within. The one better known to you as conscience. And the one that I refer to as the terrible and dreadful one, Rastafari himself, the High General. The one that has been dwelling from the beginning of time. The mysterious one, as far as I'm concerned. Terrible and dreadful. Known and unknown. If you know what I mean. So that one is a one, like I say, that I know personally, but yet, because I know that one that well, I realize that you cannot know that one, if you know what I mean. Because this one is flexing on the paradoxical level of things, of the known and the unknown. But these God be known and unknown won't baffle you or baffle your mind when you self-discipline and learn to live a moral life. Strive to. I ain't saying you're going to be perfect, no one is perfect. It's only God that is perfect. It is only the one that is perfect. So this is not about being perfect, but striving after perfection. And then when you're striving or desiring, hoping, wishing, wanting to be a better human being, then you find that you'll be cutting out most of the bad things in your life and refuse to do these things. And the more you do this, it's like polishing a diamond. You might start to sparkle. You know what I mean? But without this polishing, without this desire, you know what I mean, you're going to live under falsehood. You have to be determined to break out of falsehood and lies. You know what I mean? I ain't no one going to break you out but your own will and your own self-determination to get out of this. And like I say, it's easy because the way is already in you. You know the way. All you have to do is to apply what you know is right. You don't have to go anywhere searching for the right. Just like I repeat before. The right is right there in you. You have to put it into practice. Imagine a farmer having a seed, like we say, and refuse to sow the goddamn seed. Well, how is he going to reap anything? You see what I mean? He's not going to reap anything, even though he's got the seed, and the seed is valuable. But because he doesn't apply the seed to the soil, then the soil cannot give him what the seed is. Well, I say the magic that God got contained within the seed. So it's the same thing. The truth in you is a seed, but you have to plant it. It's a thing I say, actions speak louder than words. You see what I mean? But when you plant this now, action, doing, living, it will grow and give you words, but real words instead of false words. But you have to put it into action. And that is what most human beings are not doing. They are not putting it into action. And they don't realize there's consequences to action in all field. Not only after you pass through this body, but while you're living. And if you are performing, like I say, negative action, then you are blinding your eyes, or behaving in a manner which is, your eyes are never going to be open. And if you are in the dark, anyone can trick you in the dark, tell you anything. You know what I mean? Religious men are waiting there for the vulnerable and the blind to gobble them up and deceive. You won't be able to see through these people. How do you think, like I say, the Pope can mesmerize nearly 1 billion Catholics? And he doesn't know, he couldn't speak eloquently. He can't speak eloquently. All he does is perform a ritual. But he couldn't speak honestly because he hasn't lived honestly to speak honestly. That means he's a liar and a false man. He's behaving, he's working under falsehood. But you cannot penetrate and see that he's working under falsehood because you are deceived by his fine garments, fine robes, and his fine walking stick, his jewel-encrusted walking stick. All that fascinate you. But it wouldn't fascinate you so much if you was living honestly. You would think he was ridiculous. If a man was living, striving to live honestly, and they see a man like that, and the man was claiming to be some God man, they would definitely know that this is falsehood at its peak of idiocy. But not anybody godly. But look what he's done. He's still got you all mesmerized, innit? And the only reason why religious figures like that can have you mesmerized and have you going into all kind of emotional thing is because you in your normal everyday life you refuse to apply honesty. How many people you know in your neighborhood are around about you who are living honest? And when I say honest, I don't mean like some people, that they wouldn't burglar a house, but they don't mind being racist against somebody, or, speaking bad against the neighbor, even though, you know what I mean, those kind of things. How many people around, that are striving to be clean-hearted, or sit about talking of ways how other human beings should be clean-hearted? Because only it's the clean-hearted way that is coming. then, if you want to call it that way. Because the dirty lie and falsehood has reigned for a long time, but all they bring is chaos and hatred and depression and all them kind of thing in it. But on the flip side of all this, it's like I'm saying, if you look at life as a chaotic and everything, but in the middle of all this chaos, there's an order that you can find, but you have to live a self-disciplined life. You know, this way of living, where, like I say in England here in the West, where sexuality, you know what I mean, to be chasing down after a woman or to be the sex symbol. You see them always advertising some woman saying she's the sexiest in the world, and advertise some other man. Usually a white woman as well, because I'm in England. White woman and white man telling you that them is the sexiest in the world. But let's say there was a sexy in the world. So what? And what is the sexiest in the world? What does it mean? Does it mean that you can have sex for 5 hours straight and don't stop? What is it? What does it really mean to be the sexiest in the world? Absolutely nothing at all. More than to have you following false and idiotic business about being the sexiest in the world. Imagine you come in life and all you can think of, oh, I am the sexiest in the world, you know, and you have enough people over here striving to be sexy. And the men, but all that is because you've been drawn into the web of lying and falsehood, of living a false life. And when you live in those kind of life, you have no idea that you are a spirit. You see what I mean? A spirit that lives forever. Why? And if you live forever, why be here indulging in this stupidness? And while you're wallowing in your sex and your champagne and your that, and like I say, they drink to get Dutch curry. So while they're drunk, they cannot see the suffering of the rest of human being on the planet. They don't care. You become desensitized to the rest of suffering on the planet. You rest a human being. So you have no connection with them. When you look at even the odd time when what you can spare to look at your television and you see anyone suffering, whether in Africa, India, anywhere over the place, or even right here in your doorstep in Europe, you don't care. You think it's their fault. You will never think to yourself, all this is because of Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar. Because you believe so much in Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar. It's like, say, today we a turnover in the BBC News there, and the whole news was about Kate, and Kate is gone in hospital and the whole nation is praying for her. You know what I mean? As if she's the only woman in the country or on the planet, and everybody have to be concerned for her. Why? You know how many people is dying all over the place, all in Syria dropping bomb, and yet the BBC is trying to convince the people of England that everyone is concerned about Kate. And then, why you don't make them concerned about all the people that is dying and suffering, and all the children who come out of the mother's womb and have to come and face starvation because of Mr. Liar and Mr. Falsehood, wicked and evil way. You know what I mean? And then you have a station, like I say, like the BBC, spitting out pure propaganda, I say. Nothing have any sense. Those information to dumb the people's mind down. So, you know, we can't have mediums like those governing. Those kind of things won't be in the new way. You know, those kind of things are under the control of Mr. Falsehood and Mr. Liar, running those kind of television and newspaper, spreading propaganda and deceiving you. It's time for people to see these people as the devils in disguise. You know what I mean? Your authority. What you call your authority is the height of hypocrisy. They are the very people that are keeping you in subjection. But you can't see this because you yourself refuse to, like I say, remove the matter from out of your eye by being self-disciplined, because you've been blinded by your own behavior in your own little poor community wherever you are. You see what I mean? Because evil don't only work in high places, he work in low places. I don't only come to fight against wickedness in high places, but in low places as well. You know what I mean? So the man in the low place who is not up there like Obama and all them high devils, but is down here hating his brother, and, that's no good. You must stop that. Because that is what is blinding you. And if you don't stop that behavior, you are going to join these wicked where they are going when they leave out of the body, which you must do if you know the flex of life. Very rapidly you will be out of it. You know what I mean? You're only passing through moment in life, as we call it. You know what I mean? You know how many people before this generation here, how many generations live on the planet, and they thought they could rule it and control it, and we are now dead. And just like I'm saying, this generation shall be swept away. So you're not here for, I don't know why you're here fighting for this and control of this and that and that. Where, like I said before, where are you going to take it? Ignorance. And this ignorance come about when you don't, like I say, live a self-disciplined life and stop doing the negative things that you are doing in life. Then you get separated into your different religion or your different race group, and you stay there arguing about who is better and what is better. You know what I mean? All that is ignorance. You will not see what is going on until you can see the oneness of life. This universe is one, this earth is one, and the planet earth you have one race of people living, human beings. Within those human beings is the one God, the highest intelligence. No intelligence is higher than the one that is within. No, there is nothing beyond that, you understand? Nothing at all. None of your books that you have can test that. Because trust me, anything that you have written in any one of your holy book, even if it was from 1 billion years ago, it would have, and if it's true, it would still have to come from this one. This someone would have write down the thought. When that one give him the thought, he write it down in the book. That's all. You see what I mean? But it never come from the book. It can't come from the book. It comes from the head to go into the book. It's so stupid. I don't understand how people cannot work these simple things out. Anything that you see written on any paper anywhere in the planet Earth had to come from out of a man. And if it was true, it have to come from the conscience. Just like how sunlight come from the sun. Can't come from anywhere else. Truth cannot arrive from anywhere else apart from conscience. Conscience is the dandada. You don't understand? I don't mean consciousness, you know, when you are awake. Conscience, a separate dude within thy own self, whether you are male or female. Bad boy. You see me? That is the one that is known and unknown. That is the one that is here, there, and everywhere. I am a master. Now, I don't believe that. I know that one. You see what I mean? That's why sometimes I might even sound as if I am bragging. I am a braggart soldier when I say I am the baddest soldier who come out a woman. Yes, man. Say that. Why? Because I'm running after the one. And the one is the supreme. No man that come out a woman can test that one. I say if you have 1 billion blood clot holy man, not the billion of them couldn't test that one. Because it was the one who teach them. Whatever they know. They would know that as well. Real holy man would know what we call if a man was holy. He would know who his teacher is or who the real teacher is. If you know what I mean. So I know the real teacher. So I am trying to guide you, you know. I am not the real teacher, you know. The real teacher is within yourself. You know? I am an individual sitting on my chair here. I'm not the real teacher. Real teacher is in everyone. But I am telling you ways and means how you can make a connection. I'll give you the telephone number. You can dial up within this time. Anyone can dial up. Easy to dial up. All you have to do is start to live honestly. Those are the numbers. That is going to, when you live that way, that is like dialing up the one. Anyone can dial up the one from anywhere, any location, like I'm telling you. Because the one is everywhere present. Here, there, and everywhere. At once. Easy. Not a difficult thing when you self-discipline. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you that all this going under a tree, meditating and sitting hours meditating. You don't have to do nothing like that. You know. Might be some benefit in meditation, but when you don't have to meditate to know what's right. You just have to live right. No need to meditate about that. You don't have to meditate and to stop stealing. Just stop it. And you don't have to meditate and not hate another human being. And you don't have to meditate on how not to be greedy. All you have to do is to locate the sentiments that are negative within yourself and root them out. That's all you have to do. You don't have to meditate on it. Just live it. Then eventually it becomes natural to you to live that way. When you are living that way, that is the art of meditation. Because then you will be constantly in your mind will be on a permanent set of thinking goodness. You understand what I mean? So if you go to a football match and it was 100,000 people and they're making up nice, it would not alter the state that your mind have reached. Because you work to reach that, nothing can alter it, innit? So no amount of nice could stop you meditating on what is good and correct. And or divert your mind away from that. Doesn't matter what is going on, what noise is making. You understand what I mean? So when you live this way now, you will understand what is coming to replace this type of life that falsehood and lie has perpetuated on the earth. You know, there's no need to be no mystery about the way. All that need to come is the opposite of falsehood and lie. And the opposite of falsehood and lie is honesty and truth. So the way that is coming is a way of honesty and truthfulness, where human beings learn to live honestly and truthfully instead of living negatively that they've been doing for over whatever 1,000 years they've been on the planet. They've been practicing negativity. This will be an opportunity for them to learn to practice positivity, because the opposite is coming in, if you know what I mean. Sweeping away, because you can see now this has come to a peak. Negativity have reached its peak, where evil is out now right in front of you now, doing whatever evil it want to do, like I say, making all kind of ridiculous. Hey, when are you people of Europe? You want to make an appeal, right? And the appeal would be to disband those foolish idiots who I don't know who they are. Who are these people who elect the Nobel Peace Prize and give it to human? All of them need sacking. We don't want those type of people electing anybody as Nobel Peace Prize. They are agents of idiocy. Especially this year, like I say, when they elect the European Union as to be given the Nobel Peace Prize. What kind of ridiculous thing is that? That is like the devil is having a laugh at you. You know what I mean? We need, that's what I mean. In the new way that is coming, you won't have any idiotic people like them about they are electing Nobel Peace Prize and giving it to their fellow idiots. You know what I mean? In such a time. But this is a time when you are going to see more and more of this ridiculous behavior of the liars and the falsehood. You see what I mean? Because it's been exposed more and more. And even it's even exposing itself more and more. You know what I mean? Like I saying, by calling for war in other people. You want to be asking these liars, yeah? Why they love war so much? And why they desire, right, to go and bomb Syria so much? And why they desire so much, they keep putting it in your mind that they should go and bomb Iran, a country that has never attacked another country, unless it was way back in when the Persian Empire was running, I don't know, long time. But now everyone is hell-bent and you should attack Iran. Why is Iran such a great devil? When Israel was gathering up all this atomic bomb and that is got down there, I never see anyone in Europe running around and saying this, that they must go and do this to Israel. But now all of you, it's a European conspiracy. I say you have Canada, you have Australia, all them are willing to go and attack Syria. Just because in America as well, and they'll be willing to go and attack Iran as well. When are you going to attack? When are you going to stop the attack? Can you see what you've done? Have you got no feelings for the planet? You know, this is the question you should be asking your country and your leaders. You know, instead of applauding these devils while they come on the television and tell you, give you some other false lie, why they should send people to go and murder people or drop the latest, test out the latest deadly bomb that they've developed. You know? When are you going to start saying to them, you are living rich and easy in your big mansion, and yet you are willing to go and send and cause war, say you want to kill people in Syria, and Iran shouldn't have this and that should go on, and you're sending, why are you doing all this and allowing them to do this and get away with it? Without at least you rising up, you know, and object verbally. You support these, what we call morons. You see what I mean? To cause more evil. That's all these people has ever caused on the planet. Death and destruction to other human beings. And they're still doing it now in great numbers. You see them in what they call the UN or UN Council law code. The whole of them are, like I say, are a bunch of hypocrites and liars. All they do there is plot murder and deceit and lie. Wickedness. You see what I mean? Nothing good about these goons just because you see them dressed up in the suits and thing, looking all prim and proper. That's what evil have to do. To deceive. Have to appear as if it's good. You see what? So the more good they look, the more nasty they are. You see what I mean? But judgment is coming up on their head. You see what I mean? Anyway, I've been rapping a long time now and my mouth is getting a bit dry, see? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fade out from Firehouse, see? Catch you on the next rap. Fade out and fire out, Rastafari.